You didn't say the catchphrase.
But yeah, so the what we were just discussing is like how much time we can put into single player games. Tyler, as I'm sure you guys know, exclusively plays. Well, I would say exclusively. 80% plays single player games, and we do not.
It's about 90% at this point, 95.
Holy moly.
But yeah, recently we do have developments in that field, and that is Brett has played and beaten the first Batman game.
It's true.
Which
That's
is
exciting news.
big news.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Speaking
a good
of,
game. Oh,
I have
God.
a little highlight reel
Oh God.
that we can show from
Was
his
this the plan?
stream.
Was this the planning thing you're talking about?
No, of course not.
Okay. Okay. He's lying.
He's always
but
got
you know,
tricks
it's
up
fine.
his sleeve.
All right, I'm gonna turn it up so they can hear.
Oh, wait, do you have the heck meter?
What the hell is that?
Heck
What
meter.
was it? Not the heck.
No,
what-
it was the sick
sick
meter.
meter.
Every
Oh, the
time he
sick
said
meter.
sick,
Yeah,
I
I
was gonna
said-
count because he says it a bunch. It's fine. We'll just roll it. It's only 2 minutes.
I'll count it.
I like how Joker's just in Batman, the Batmobile. He's just in there. He's not in a police vehicle or anything. He's just
Dude.
driving him. He's chauffeuring him.
I hate my own voice. I hate it. I hate hearing it.
You have a normal voice, Brett. It's all right.
Yeah. Holy shit.
All right, so as we watch this, did you actually like the combat? Because I think it's like one of the best. The Arkham
combat
series,
was- It was
Wait, what did it say?
good.
Formerly. Oh, got it.
It was good, but
Oh,
the
dude, that's
takedowns,
so
like
sick. It
knocking
shows
people out, was
the
very
First appearance. That's so simple.
Yeah, you're talking over yourself. All right, hold these
Listen, yes.
hold these
God.
questions till after.
All right. Well, yeah, he asked me a question. All right, continue.
Sick. The fuck?
My bad. Jesus.
I like how I just my movement is just walking menacingly. Yeah, that was sick.
Zaz is down, but not for long.
I think you're up to like 5.
Let's go.
Yeah, this game's pretty sick so far. Enjoying it.
6.
Those not watching, I just punched a guy that was just laying down.
Yeah, this guy like passed out.
What the hell?
That's unfortunate.
Or is that
Dude, I'm mega nervous because I have no HP. Jesus Christ. Dude, that was a majority of the game. It was just me punching guys unconscious while they're laying down. I am not a master in stealth. No. I guess I'm not. It's true. God damn it. First death, yeah. Saw that coming. Yeah, I will say the aesthetics look great in this game.
Yeah,
Especially
for
for how
being
old it is.
15 years old.
Wayne Enterprises. Sick. God damn it. Finish it off with a sick. I didn't. Yeah, funnily enough, I don't even remember saying it that much. I feel like that happens a lot whenever I stream. I don't say offensive things, but I say things that I just have no memory of, and then people record it and they show me. I'm like, I don't. Okay, sure, yeah, I said that. Okay,
relate.
I believe you.
All right, now
Actually,
what do you
yeah.
what do you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, I would probably say it's hard for me to say because I'm not a single player savant. Like I don't really play single player games, but I would probably give it like story was good, combat was a little meh. Probably like a 7. I give it a 7. Yeah,
I think that's
Yeah.
the worst one.
That's fair.
personally.
Yeah, I think that's a fair score. But again, I feel like the combat was like it was good, but it was very. It just felt like it was all every fight was the same kind of fight,
Yeah, Brett
which
was
I
also
wasn't a huge fan of.
Brett was also pretty bad at fighting in the game. So
It's
Wow.
true. It's true.
his highest
I can't-
combo was like 11.
Yeah, I got an achievement for 10 though, so I was pretty proud of that.
That's pretty sick.
There you go.
See what I did there?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, let's move on. Yeah. But yeah,
But
game
no,
was
I
good.
mean, in
enjoyed
your
it.
defense, like the combat in the first one is pretty clunky, to be honest. Like there are certain
Especially on mouse
times,
and keyboard.
yeah, he was not using controller, which I
That's
told
rough.
him to.
Yeah, I had to go to I had to go to storage and find it. And I didn't want to do that.
Well, it's like the first one specifically, like I'm pretty sure it was made on made for console, and then it was like a very rough port to PC.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of the keybinds are super weird.
Yeah, they were. And one of them I
Um,
didn't even use. It was like zoom in, and that was like Z. Yeah, I never used that.
Yeah, I
Don't
don't
need
know.
to.
But the rest of the games they definitely had like PC in mind. It seemed so. Gesundheit.
That's good to know.
Oh,
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Have we talked about what the I feel like we just talked about my stream. You know.
Yeah, check it
do
out.
we have a-
Zlander
do we-
4 at twitch.tv.
Yeah, twitch.tv/Zlander4.
there you go. Get it in there.
Nice.
Let's move on. Okay. Do we have a topic in mind? I don't think we've talked about what we're going to talk about, which is probably the title of it.
We do have a topic in mind, and me being the non-prepared person in the room, I just cut all of our webcams off on accident. It's fine.
It's okay. It's totally fine.
We have a topic, and that topic is gaming ethics and social issues. I can start this one off. To me, something that comes to mind whenever I think about that specifically, it kind of ties into both with gaming ethics and the social issues, is the big stigma that was around violence corresponding to video games. Like real life violence, like kids being, getting in fights and like all this other stuff that's happening, and people blaming video games for it. And I actually came prepared for this.
Okay.
But first, what are your guys' thoughts?
For that, I mean, I've never thought that those two things correlated together, only because, anything that you watch, there's violence on it. I've never once, I was playing Grand Theft Auto at 5 years old. I never once thought to myself, I'm gonna go carjack someone, throw them out of a car, and run them over with it. I never once thought that. Same thing with playing Call of Duty at a young age, and James. I never once had those two correlations. I also think it's like the kind of person that you are. I don't know. I
Yeah.
have never seen since we were kids, there was always violence on the TV shows that we've been watching, movies. Like how because I know that was a big thing as well growing up. Violence causes video games, but it's like
Well,
why are you targeting that specific
I've heard a fairly decent counter argument to that, where it's like, well, it's on the TV, it's in movies, whatever else. The difference is that you're making the decision to be violent in the video games. Like if you're playing Grand Theft Auto, you're making the decision to drive a car down the sidewalk and hit a bunch of people and stuff, right? As opposed to being in a show where you're just kind of like reacting to what people you're reacting to other people's decisions and like a story that's played out. That you have I wouldn't say no stock in, because you're still investing your time and like you could be engrossed in the environment and stuff, but at the same time it's like, if you're playing Call of Duty, or I feel like we reference Call of Duty so much, but it's
just something that we've
it's
all
such
grown
a
up on.
it's like
Yeah, we started with it.
it's like the Batman of video games. Like everyone knows. I'm just saying, Batman's a household name, even if you don't know anything about superheroes or anything, right? I feel
That's
like
true.
Call of Duty's the same way. But yeah, so like it's just I think the counter argument to that is the decision making.
And I understand that part of it.
Yeah, I can see that.
What are your
But
thoughts?
I
I
don't know.
also I think for like most kids and most adults though, like doing violent things in violent video games like is just almost testing out what the game allows you to do and just seeing if you can actually do that within the game, not actually being someone that's like, "Hey, I'd love to do this in real life." It's more just like, "What will this game let me do?"
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I think ethically speaking, if you're able to do, it's kind of like pushing limits in a video game. So like you said, Tyler, in real life, like you'd never, or I think it was Dan that mentioned this. In real life, I don't think any one of us has ever thought about, oh yeah, let's just take a car and drive it on the sidewalk and just
Yeah.
run a bunch of people over. That's never ethically crossed our mind because we know,
just kidding.
okay, yeah, let's relax here. Okay. Ethically, I don't think it's ever crossed our mind because look, we know that is wrong. Obviously, violence is wrong, but video game, from the perspective of playing the video game, we're able to do things we're not able to do in real life. Because I don't know about you, but whenever I watch my brother play a game like that, or I do it myself, and I'm driving down the sidewalk and I just see. For an example, there's a clip of GTA where somebody modded it and they put a ramp on the front of a 18-wheeler and they drove in the
Yeah, I
opposite
saw
side of
that.
traffic and they just had cars flying
Hell yeah.
over them with the camera like pointed back, and you just see like 15 cars in the air just like floating.
You say that's not in real life? I've definitely seen that in the Fast and Furious movie.
Oh,
Oh,
true.
that's the key point of real life right
I'm
there.
just kidding. But yeah, I mean,
But yeah,
you
that's just
definitely
fun.
you definitely hit the nail on the head with that. I mean, since we're on the topic of Grand Theft Auto, I remember whenever we were younger, I can't remember if it was in like our state or another state, but I remember getting brought up at school where someone was like on the side of the highway and like shot a car and then stole the car. And then in the interview, after they caught the person, was like, "Why'd you want to do it?" They were like, "Well, I did it in Grand Theft Auto, so I wanted to see if I could do it in real life." And that blew up the whole article of like all the gotcha people were like, "Aha!" Like I knew that it caused violence and stuff, but
Yeah, I mean, but with that logic, anything could cause violence, right?
yeah, and I feel like some because there's studies that have been done on this, right? I actually have articles that I can throw up on screen real quick, about this like exact topic of There's like two sides of the article. One that is saying, I'll put the supporting article up first, which here, let me put this in Discord for you guys. Give me 1 second. So this is the supporting article. And essentially I threw some highlights in here, and it's just saying like there's been over 20 studies involving 17,000 participants that found playing video games is associated with increases in physical aggression over time in children and teens. That was published in 2018 was whenever that did. This actual article was wrote in fall of 2019. And they say like the study it was at Dartmouth. I don't know how to say that college. Dartmouth, whatever. That was where the study was done. It said they tracked the physical aggression amongst users of violent video games for periods ranging from 3 months to 4 years. As in, the examples go from hitting someone or being sent to the school's principal's office for fighting, and were based on reports from children, parents, teachers, and peers. So, like that to me is how do you measure that? Is it a kid gets in a fight in school? Do you pull them in a room and it's like, do you play video games at home? Oh, you do. Well, this is because of that, right? It's kind of like it just feels like an inflated statistic that it's kind of like I mean, this is kind of dark way to go about it, but it's like during the height of COVID, where like all the COVID deaths were super high, right? It's there was the big question of like, are all the deaths of COVID because people are dying in hospitals whenever there's a pandemic, or do they actually die of COVID, right? I mean, that was disproven in saying that
Right.
they like are actually pulling medical records that of people that are sick with it or whatever else. But like, I'm just trying to say of like, in terms of the general population digesting this information, all they see is video games cause violence in our children.
Right.
And there's no like, you're not going to question it if it's what everyone is saying.
Yeah, I can see why people would correlate the two, but it's kind of like this might be a very vague comparison, but it hit me. It's like if your foot hurts and then you go on WebMD and you just type in your foot hurts, like you could come up with a billion
Oh, you
different
got
things that it
cancer.
could be. Yeah, for sure. Like and that's I feel like that's as vague as it's gonna get with video games as well. It's like, oh, you play video games and you punch somebody, it's got to be the cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the fact that that kid probably just has anger issues and that's what causing it, you know. But nope, it's the
Yeah.
video games.
Yeah, I mean, I've also
Also-
seen like supporting things that say like people with anger issues are able to like direct their anger more in a video game, so they don't actually have that type of or that rage in real life.
Well, also, if you think about it, it also has to tie because it said ages 4 months to teenage years, or like how old? What was the?
No, it
what
was,
the
That
text?
was the how long they've tested.
Yeah, that
it,
was how
right?
long that they like
Oh, I see.
had the periods of aggression, but this is the age group is just children to teens.
I see. Well, what I was gonna say was, if you think about it, I don't want to get into the psychology because that was the last episode, but psychologically speaking, a lot of that could also have to do with how they're brought up as kids. So like if they're around violence, constantly, how, if they grow up in a rough neighborhood, if they're bullied at school, or if they are the bully at school, a lot of things kind of factor into the violence of kids doing that kind of thing. So I think it's very vague and very unfair to blame video games strictly for
Yeah,
that.
I always felt there was like a cop out argument.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. It's like it's an excuse to not go to the deeper root of the problem, which was how this kid how his life is at home. It's
Yeah.
well, nope, plays video games. That's the reason. Let's not dig into the roots of abusive parents and all that other stuff.
Hmm.
Right. And that's not to say that video games aren't the cause of some issues. I mean, obviously,
Most of my anger is in this chair right here playing video games. But as soon as I get up, it stays in the chair. It doesn't go with me anywhere else.
Yeah, I was playing Tarkov earlier, and
Oh, God.
I and I killed a guy that was extract camping, and then as I was looting him, I was like, I'm taking all your shit because you're a rat, right? Like you're just sitting there doing nothing, sitting in this fucking extract, waiting for people, and I killed him. And as I was taking all his stuff, I didn't realize that like my head was at like 3 HP, and I ran out of energy and hydration, so it just started ticking down, and then I just died like 3 feet from the extract, and I just like took my hand and I
Oh.
smacked my desk, and then I hear my wife in the other room like, knock it off, because she it was early in our like relationship. I used to be like a pretty big like rage person, not like like I'm breaking shit, but I would like slam my mouse down or something if I got aggravated.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I used to do that shit. all
And
the time.
she's like, I'm not dealing with that shit. So she kind of got me out of it. But yeah, anytime she hears it, she's just like, you slamming shit in there?
I
No,
still
no,
remember that.
I
No, no.
dropped something. I dropped something. I hit my knee on my desk.
Yeah, I still remember to this day when we were playing online, Daniel, and I got like killed or something. I yell like mother effer, like God damn it. And my mom goes, what?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Nothing.
Don't worry about it.
Dude, I remember this one time. Oh, Jesus. I think we were playing. Oh my God, I can't remember what game it was. I think
Halo,
it was.
Call of
I
Duty
think it was.
4.
I think it was Rainbow Six. I think it was Rainbow. I think it was Vegas, and something happened, and like my mom was talking to me at the same time, and Eric said something, or Eric did something, and I was like, God, you're stupid. And my dad thought I was talking to my mom, and he like walked in the
God.
room and like ripped the console out of the wall and like like just essentially started like screaming at me and like threw me in my room and all this stuff. I was like, Dad, I was talking to Eric.
Yeah,
Really? Where is he?
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
even in here. What are you talking about?
yeah, when it comes to video games, it's definitely important to have some sort of outlet, I think.
Yeah.
Slamming your desk obviously is not healthy, but it's a hell of a
That's
lot
the outlet.
healthier. Yeah, I guess that's true, but that's a hell of a lot healthier than punching a wall or like
Yeah, but you're just
attacking
proving
somebody.
the point. Violence is caused by video games, Brett.
Ah, shit.
Wrap it up.
Ah, shit. Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, so like the rest of this not argument, the rest of this article is just saying like the study was immediately called into question. Meta-analysis are not statistically significant, which is what they are saying the like early analysis that was drawn from the 24 studies. There's an editorial appeal that was made like the year prior about this, cautioning policymakers and news media to stop linking violent games to serious real world aggression, as the data is just not there to support such beliefs.
See, I was gonna say, I feel like an easy way to go against that is, okay, how many cases of a year do we have? Let's just say for Grand Theft Auto for anger. Okay, we have 5 cases a year. How many people play Grand Theft Auto in a year? Oh, 30 million in 5
Right, so
kids.
that's actually, I have another article that goes into disproving this. It's significantly smaller, and I'll link these in the description of the video as well if you're curious. However, this one is behind a paywall, but I will link a website that lets you get around paywalls. Just throw it
All
out there.
right.
But this is just saying, re-examining the studies from the previous years. This is a full like year and a half later. This article comes out just looking back at the studies that linked aggressive behavior to video gaming, which is what this says, which sounds weird. But it's saying, looking at the multiple reports that were done using meta-analysis, when bundled together, the study showed a statistically significant but minuscule positive correlation between gaming and aggression, quote unquote below the threshold required to count as even a small effect. Thus, current research is unable to support the hypothesis that violent video games have a meaningful long-term predictive impact on youth aggression. So that actually reminds me about how a lot of these scientific studies are done, right? It's all about the headlines, right? That's what a lot of these people read. And then they don't actually look into the article as to what they're saying. So an example, like aspartame and diet soda and stuff and teas and stuff like that causing cancer. Right? Like that was such a big headline before. I remember my mom telling me
Still
like
a thing now.
diet soda so much worse for you, stop drinking it. It's better to drink, like word for word, people have told me it's better to drink regular soda than diet soda because of the aspartame and stuff. And like if you look at the articles that did the aspartame research, it's so they're doing it on like mice and like rats and stuff. So the articles are saying that the scientific research behind it is showing these rats and mice consuming upwards of like what a human would consume if they drank like a 12-pack of diet soda a day for like 10 years. They were giving to these mice like every other hour. And the mice develop cancer. And so the articles are saying science proves that aspartame causes cancer. But it's like, yeah, if you consume an unworldly amount of aspartame, and it's not even like it's diluted in soda as well. They're injecting these mice and rats and stuff with like just the pure chemical.
Yeah, that's wild. That's like saying, like, I mean, the sun technically can cause cancer if you spend enough time outside.
Yeah, like
right?
water can kill you if you drink enough of it.
Yeah, I think enough of anything. I mean, the water is considered the healthiest thing that you can consume, and it could still do some very nasty things to you if you drink too much of it. So that's just yeah, that's wild that people actually spend time trying to prove that causes cancer. Like,
Well, I mean, they do it because it's without that research, we definitely wouldn't know what we know today. But at the same time, it's just clickbaity article headlines that, people are scrolling through on Facebook and see, oh, aspartame causes cancer. Cool. And then they keep scrolling, right? Like that's, I don't know. But that's kind of what I like relate this to is they're seeing it was such a minuscule positive correlation between gaming and aggression, enough for article headlines to post gaming causes violence, and that was it. Now my dad's taking away my Nintendo 64 or PlayStation 2.
That is very true, especially in social media, because Facebook and Instagram, whenever you copy and paste a link, it will show a preview of that article, and that only shows the headline. So it's like people are just scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, read the headline, and oh my God, yeah, diet soda causes cancer. Got it. Okay, scroll. And then when you click on it, it's like, there actually isn't really a study that shows that this is true, but we still think that it might happen. It's like there have been 3 instances, like on my Facebook where I was scrolling through it, someone's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this," and then you click on the article, and it's like, "What? Doesn't even say this."
And
in
then
the
it's
article.
an Onion article.
Yeah, exactly. I have seen one of those where someone's
Dude,
like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." Click
if you
it,
ever
it's the
get
Onion.
bored, there's a subreddit called Ate the Onion, and it's just people's reactions to falling for Onion articles, and it's hilarious.
Oh my God.
yeah, some politicians even fall for those too, which is also very
What a
funny.
what a great site.
The Onion?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree. It's hilarious. But that was my example of like ethics and social behavior. What are your guys's?
Tyler, you wanna
I'm
go ahead?
trying to rethink of what mine was because I was talking about it and then
Well, I can talk about mine if
you go.
wanna
I
take
gotta
some time.
remember what I was
Okay.
going to
Well,
discuss.
when I think ethics, I think like, okay, so this is a gaming podcast. I won't get too far into this, but my brother and I were really heavily into a TV show called The Good Place, and I think they have their own podcast, the
Great
cast
show.
and whatever. But yeah, great show. But they go over like what makes you a good person, right? Like the do's and don'ts of how to be a good person, how to be a bad person, whatever. And I feel like relating that to games. The first thing that I thought of was campaign missions, and a lot of campaign missions, like if you play, let's say Call of Duty, because we always talk about Call of Duty. So Call of Duty, let's go to a mission where you are just in, I don't know, I'm thinking Modern Warfare 2, so let's say favela, and you have to go through the streets of favela, and then you have to chase a guy, right? I think there was a mission back in the day. I don't remember what it was called, but I'm sure someone knows what I'm talking about. But you have to not shoot civilians, otherwise you lose the mission. Yeah. So in that mission, if you shoot a civilian by accident, then the mission starts over, and you technically have to start over. Whereas in other missions, you can blow up cars with people in them. It doesn't matter what you do around the world as long as you're getting from point A to point B, right? And ethically, for me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then another mission that comes to mind for Modern Warfare 2 was no Russian. That was a big one, like a very controversial, very, very big mission where you basically go through an airport and you just mow people down with an M240. Or
There was
maybe
even
it was
a
another
disclaimer
But
LMG.
you
for that
don't
one.
mow down
Yeah.
Russians. No Russian.
No, I don't think that's what.
That's what it was, right?
means. Nah,
What
I
is it?
think
I think
it
it's
means
because they found out he wasn't a Russian.
I thought it was because they're not allowed to speak Russian because they don't want people to know that they're Russian. Anyways, I thought
it was they were killing everyone that wasn't Russian.
Maybe
Oh.
it's all the above.
Yeah, it could be. I have no idea. We'll have to look into that.
I don't know.
Uh,
I
but
know
that-
you're allowed to opt out of that mission in the remake.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
there's
thought it
a
was in
there's
the
a
regular one too, because there was a disclaimer, wasn't there?
well,
Ooh,
I'm talking
maybe.
about specifically the Modern Warfare 2022 release, like the remake of Modern Warfare 2. They whenever you first launch the game, there's a prompt that says like, do you want to do that mission or not? Oh wait, maybe you're right. Maybe it
Interesting.
was the other one.
Because I'm pretty
'Cause
sure in the first one
mission's
it's
not.
like
Yeah, I think you're
Yes.
right.
Spoilers, by the way, but I do recall seeing. I remember I played through that campaign. At the very end, Makarov said, "Remember, no Russian," and then the story ended.
Yeah, it was like the post-credit scene.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that was one of those missions that was like, I mean, it got headlines for how bad it was, like how, just like
Yeah.
holy
remember
shit,
that.
Jesus. So
I can't imagine
that-
being a
that should
game
cross my mind.
developer and just like creating that.
I know, right?
Like they're like, no, this is good.
This will turn some heads. Let's do it.
I was playing. Have you guys heard of Red Dead Revolver?
Red Dead Redemption? No, Red
No,
Dead Revolver.
Yeah,
I have.
That
it came out. So
that a
it's like
spin-off?
It's like in the gun era.
yeah, like rock. It was like 2004. Rockstar made this game, and then it kind of like it's not related to Red Dead Redemption as far as the universe, but it like eventually adapted into Red Dead Redemption, and they kind of like restarted with that same premise. But I just finished this mission, and the mission is there is a bar fight, and the men are all fighting each other, and your job is to make sure that the women don't die because they are picking up the women and throwing them across the room, and you have to make sure that you beat up all the men before they kill all the women. I was like, what am I playing? It's like that would
Jeez.
never be in a game now.
I mean,
Maybe.
you'd be surprised.
I think it depends on. I think it depends on like how they're. Like, are you the protagonist in this?
Yes.
Yeah, then I think it'd be okay.
Nah,
If you're trying to
he's-
stop like sexist people, I think you.
I mean,
I think you can get away with that.
I was like, this is wild.
Dude,
like literally
yeah.
picking up the women and throwing them across.
I think
the
because it's like
saloon.
back then they probably put that in there for a different reason.
Probably
Dude.
yeah.
Yeah, imagine you were the bad guy and you were the one throwing.
You were the one that had to pick. Oh, this is okay. This kind of goes along with that a little bit. Did you guys ever play the South? This is. Did you guys play the South Park games, the recent ones?
Yeah,
I never played it, but I've seen
I've
so
played
many
them
clips.
both. Stick of
difficulty?
Truth and Fractured But
Yeah,
Whole.
yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I've
The
heard of.
It's like the
part of that?
the darker your skin, the harder it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. See, that's the thing about South Park, though. They don't care.
They can
That's
somehow
so
get away
it's
with
like
everything.
that's like is okay. This is maybe a controversial question, but like, is that bad, or is that like quote unquote that's like woke, right? Like that's what I think I remember headlines saying like, don't play the South Park games because they're like it's too woke or whatever. But that's like how South Park is. They troll or not common. Fuck, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know, but I know they.
Like pop culture stuff. They
See, but
troll
I almost-
Okay, yeah,
current
they
events.
push-
Current events. That's what it
They
is.
push.
I
yeah, they
don't.
push boundaries. I don't know.
I don't see South Park like what they do as bringing spotlight to anything that's trying to be woke. If anything, they make fun of it for trying to be woke. I don't know.
Yeah, woke is a
That's-
very woke has unfortunately become a very broad term.
like
That's
everything
used
is
to,
woke
like,
now. Everything that someone says is woke.
Yeah, that's a very. Yeah, it's a hot button word. I don't know.
It's so
It's-
overused now. Everyone
it-
uses
it-
it for everything.
It really is. I don't even know the definition of it.
I go down
anymore, to
these
be honest.
Twitter rabbit holes
Oh,
of
that's a
just
mistake.
these idiots out here like, oh my god, you just sparked up a memory of mine that happened. It was like
ready for
last
this.
week or something. I am not at all like a Ben Shapiro fan in any way, right? But I seen a
Okay.
clip of his, and I didn't even watch the clip. I just started scrolling through the comments, and someone, I think it was about the whole like Steven Crowder wife thing, right? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He was like just being like a dick to his pregnant wife.
Yeah, he was yelling at her.
And someone was like, women deserve respect. And then the comment below that, or like the comment to that, was like get your woke ass out of here. And it's like, is that woke? I think that women
Isn't that
deserve
just-
respect.
Isn't that just being like a normal
That's
person?
just being like a nice human. Like
Not even
I'm like,
nice,
what
just
is that even?
what you should be.
We're so off topic, but anyways,
Yeah.
Yeah, these are social issues, all right?
I mean, I
These
guess
are
that's fair,
seriously-
but it's in
That's
gaming.
true. I can imagine they're going to make some sort of politician video game in the future, and that'll probably be in it.
Dude, there already is.
I'm not surprised.
There's
also,
oh, do you mean like where you are a politician?
I guess I don't know.
If
Some
you go
sort-
to
I
if you
never
go to
thought about it.
Steam and just type in president, there's all kinds of games out there.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine.
There's
All
some
this
some wild ones out there.
All right, so then with that, going back to Brett's mission conversation, do you think that those missions should even be in video games?
I think it's important to push boundaries with video games because I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think it's important to have those in video games because it's a story, right? It's not meant to be like covered by something real in real life. And if it's, if it's a real thing that happened, I highly doubt that any video game developer would put it in their game because I don't think that would only just be bad for them.
I mean, context is important, like you said,
Yeah.
with its story. Like if there was just some, like if you're playing, I don't even know, insert game here of like modern, like some modern game, and then there's just some random mission where you're running around. Like, I was gonna reference a movie. I don't know if you guys ever seen Rampage.
I have.
Is that the movie with Dwayne Johnson?
Not that
No.
one.
Not
Okay.
that one.
I was gonna say, that's the monkey movie.
It's a movie. It's super messed up where this guy like believes in the overpopulation theory, right? Like the world's overpopulated, and he just goes on like a rampage in his town and just like mass
So
muck
That's-
ducks people.
that's interesting. Yeah, I'm wondering if they would even have considered putting that. So let's take the mission that I mentioned, No Russian. If they put that at the beginning of the game, I imagine that it would not have passed any sort of. I don't know if they do like overall like just going over missions beforehand. I don't know if they would have even been talked about if that they considered at the beginning. But since it was in like sort of the middle of the game, maybe the context was there. So the story
I don't know
progressed.
if that would have made a difference.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
I think I don't know in that aspect because like Daniel, you started to mention putting things in there just to put them in there. But like that mission kind of was just because you can completely skip that mission and you can still follow the story perfectly. And it was a skippable mission. So it's like,
That's
did
true.
that really need to be in there?
That is true.
Yeah, I
But
don't
then
know. That,
on the
yeah.
other hand, like I don't mind that it was in there, me personally, because I mean,
You're not
I
Russian.
don't see that and go crazy in public. It's like that doesn't make me do anything. But I also understand people being upset if it wasn't a skippable mission as well. People that can't take that, I don't know. That one's kind of tricky.
Yeah, I think when people are affected in their life at some point by something that's similar to it, then I feel like they can have some sort of like outrage and they boycott the game, and do what they feel is right. But other than that, I think calling anything woke or trying to get a mission out of a game because you feel like it's wrong instead of it just being as it is, it's just a game.
Dude, that
That's all it
reminds
is
me
at the
of
end of the day.
that reminds me of the people that dress up in like the full, like the guy that dressed up like a full like mariachi person, and they asked
yeah,
like
I've
all the
seen that.
white people on the college campus, like, is this
Yeah.
offensive? And they're like, yeah. And then they go to like the Mexican like side
And they all love
I don't
it.
know where the fuck he goes, but he goes like somewhere, I guess, where like Hispanic people are. And I was like, "Is this offensive?" He's like, "No, it looks great."
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, exactly. I feel like a lot of people nowadays just want to be upset about something. They want some sort of cause to be they want to feel important, so they make their voice heard about something that just does not relate to them in any way, but they feel like their opinion is important enough to affect other people's decisions. I don't know. I don't think missions or video game ethics personally.
Oh my god!
I don't
Actually,
really
I just
think.
thought of another one.
Okay,
This is a big one, actually.
Go for it.
Yeah, what is it?
Have you ever heard of the game Ready or Not?
Yeah.
No,
Okay, so
but that's not surprising.
it's a little bit like Tarkov-esque, Brett, but it's co-op.
Look it
Co-op
up.
versus AI,
It looked
and
pretty
you're
cool,
you're
actually.
like a SWAT officer. So the company, let me get the company name just so I'm not just saying stuff. The company that made the game is called Void Interactive. And since you're a cop, during the height of all this stuff that was happening, so the premise of the game is like you have an active shooter at a gas station. There's they have a bomb at in a hotel, right? And it's like you and your co-op people or your AI teammates or just you go in and try and like neutralize the threat and all this other stuff. It's like SWAT, if you ever played like the SWAT games.
Mhm.
Well, they added a school shooter
Oh,
level
jeez.
into the game. And the publishing company behind the game dropped it. They were like, we don't support we don't support the game. We don't support this in a game that like we don't want our name tied to it. So they dropped like Void Interactive. They stopped funding and all this other stuff. But like the Void devs, like essentially stood behind their decision to add it into the game, and yeah, it was just like, oh, that's my Valorant stats. Never mind, you can't see it because it's not on the thing. And they left. As far as I know, I think it's still in the game. I own the game, but I don't think I've played it in a while. I stopped playing before all that stuff came out. But yeah, so like that's something that comes to mind, kind of like your No Russian thing, where it's like, did this need to be in the game? Or did it just like, are you adding it? Because like, that's going to get publicity, right? Like, there's no way people don't talk about that.
And maybe that's the point of some. So I've never heard of this game. I've never heard of the development of this game, so I don't know how their games go. But maybe some game companies and devs just enjoy the PR. There's no such thing as bad PR. Like if you're talked about, you're talked about. That's all that matters.
I don't know if that's entirely true in today's society because of like, because yeah, like cancel culture and stuff. I think that can negatively affect you for sure.
I think it depends on the popularity of what we're talking about.
It also like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not like entirely against cancel culture either. I think it's good to have like power to the people that isn't something I guess like political, like we're not voting. It's not like, oh, this person did something super, like this company did something super shitty. Like we can't like vote the company down, like we can sign petitions and stuff like that. It's like, or you can just tell everyone not to buy their stuff and spread word of mouth and stuff like that. Like I could see, I see like both sides. It does get out of hand a lot of times, but here's, I pulled up, oh, whoops. That's the old article. So I pulled up an article. Can you see that or no?
No. Just touching on what you were saying, I think holding accountability to people is important.
There we go.
but I don't think it's important to try to cancel somebody or something because you and a small group of people don't like it. You know, if somebody messes up royally, they should be held accountable for it. Whether that be their community calling them out. I'm thinking specifically of streamers because, you know, we're gamers and I specifically pay attention to a lot of streamers. And I think streamers should be held accountable for things that they say because they are influencing a good amount of people. So there should be some sort of accountability there. But if they do something like play a level that people don't like, then trying to cancel them because they're playing a level that has nothing to do with anything other than they're just streaming it. They're just playing a game. They didn't
Yeah.
develop it. They're just
It's like
playing a game.
Hogwarts
That's just-
Legacy.
Yeah, it's just like play the game. Like you don't have to support what people do, like as far as outside of the game, but it's just a game.
Right.
Let people enjoy the game.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get both sides of the Hogwarts Legacy argument though, because one, it's like whenever you buy the game, you are like they do like J.K. Rowling does have royalties for Harry Potter, so every game that's purchased, she gets money for it.
Can you provide context just in case there's people that don't know what happened with that?
So J.K. Rowling is like a bigoted person, kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, but
and it's like spoke out about how trans women aren't real women and just a bunch of stupid shit. And she's the creator of the Harry Potter universe, essentially. She's not tied to it anymore, but she does get royalties. And since Hogwarts Legacy came out, that every game purchased, she essentially gets a percentage. And there was a massive disconnect with the gaming community of like, should I buy this? Should I not buy this? Like, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much it.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I understand where people are coming from, but what were you gonna say, Tyler?
No, I mean, I definitely get that, but you know that there were tons of people that worked on that game that were also part of that community. So it's like not. I mean, to me, it's like they made this incredible game. So it's
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
sucks because it's like you want to support the devs, but you don't want to support her.
Yeah.
Like, what do
Mhm.
you do? And
if you're a gamer, just
yeah,
I
don't
just
know.
bought it. I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, so
it was. I don't know.
games are not meant to be politically correct. They are meant to just be a world of their own where you can just go in and just play. Just play in a Harry Potter world. You want to go to Harry Potter world? Go to play Hogwarts Legacy. You want to shoot people in a video game? Play Call of Duty or Destiny 2, or you want to shoot some aliens? Go play Dead Space. It's not. I don't think
Hell yeah.
gaming. Yeah, exactly. I don't think gaming is meant to. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, and that's kind of like why I'd like to conclude your mission statement. I mean, I personally believe that those missions and that kind of stuff should be kept in a game because if that affects a person's real life decisions, that person has way more to worry about than the games that they are playing. I mean,
Oh, unless it was like something that like was traumatizing to them, right?
well, but I mean, I feel like in reality, I mean, something's going to traumatize almost anyone. So it's like, I mean, Grand Theft Auto. If someone was in a bank shooting, I'm sure that they also were going to be traumatized by Grand Theft Auto. So it's like, where do you really draw the line?
Well, I think
with
it's
what's
more
shown
the
and what's not
sensitivity
shown?
of the subject.
True.
For instance,
That's true.
a school shooting level.
Oh yeah,
And-
no, like I mean, anything that involves like kids, and there are definitely certain lines in video games that should not be crossed, and killing kids should probably be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the article. Void Interactive says their publisher did not drop them because of this level. However, it's very conveniently timed. Because after they announced that it was releasing, it was like a week later that the publisher dropped them. But yeah,
Very
I mean,
convenient.
again, I'll link this article in the description here, but it's I don't actually know if it's in the game but I do know that they were working on it, and it got a lot of backlash.
I'm sure that it did, as it should.
But
It got backlash for putting that mission in the game.
yeah, or like even I'm gonna need you to block out the stuff at the top right, because that's
What time are we at right now?
you got me on that one. 62 minutes.
May as well close it at this point.
Well, I mean, he can edit it out, but I'm just saying, like,
I'll
here's
blur it out. Don't
yeah,
worry.
here's the follow-up tweet by them saying, we also would like to ensure everyone that we are committed to our vision of Ready or Not as a hardcore tactical shooter. We are continually scanning player feedback and will be rolling out frequent patches and updates over the coming weeks and months. Which is like a really weird response to someone saying like, hey, don't put a school shooter level in your game. They're like, don't worry, we're gonna keep patching our game. But it's like, I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, touching on what I was saying before. So I said games should not be politically correct, and I want to kind of preface that by saying I think inclusivity in video games is really important. So like I know Valorant's a big one, right? Because I know Valorant has well, I forget when it was announced, but I know Killjoy and Raze, who are two characters in the game, are like considered bisexual, right? A couple. I don't know actually what they are officially, but that's inclusivity. I think that's extremely important in video games. I think if it's hateful, it should not exist. Like, I don't think that those things should be in games. Like, school shooting is iffy. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, but it's like the question I asked Tyler earlier about the whole like, are you saving the women from getting thrown across the room? Because like technically in this school shooting episode, I keep saying episode. What the fuck is wrong with me? In this it's because I keep reading episode on my screen like for the podcast. In this level, like you're the protagonist. You're saving the school. So it's like, is it ethical? Will it blend?
Yeah.
You guys ever watch the Will It Blend stuff on YouTube?
No, my brother did, and he loved every episode.
Dude,
Dude,
it's so good.
Like the amount of times I caught him just watching a video, if it like it's just not funny
An
to me.
iPhone going in a blender. It's not funny. It's educational. Will it blend?
Will it blend?
Yeah, yeah. If you ever thought about blending something, I guess that's the site to go to or the channel to go to. Never crossed my mind, but you know.
Sure has not crossed mine.
There's another channel. This is kind of off topic, but there's another channel that it was like him making food, I guess, in the most dramatic, expensive, like just stupid way possible. Like he would make eggs by just like throwing an egg on the ground and then stepping
you're talking
on
about?
it.
Are you talking about How to Basic?
Yeah, How to Basic. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and my brother could not get enough of it.
those
Yeah,
all the time.
that stuff's meant to be funny.
Yeah,
I like the educational stuff. Like there's another YouTuber that he just cuts stuff in half to see what's what's inside. I think is what it's called. Where he just he cuts everything in half to see what's inside of them.
That's actually kind of interesting. I might look into that. I will say the hydraulic press ones are so fascinating.
Those are satisfying.
I don't know what it is. Just with seeing something just pop is just satisfying. I don't know I don't know why.
Agreed. What got us here?
Oh,
it was my Will It Blend. Yeah, Will It Blend comment.
You started this.
But yeah, like I don't know. I don't think that just to circle back to the topic. I don't think that certain things should be added into a game without context. That's like the biggest thing is, and if you don't want, if it's very clearly something that's happening in the game that's unethical, you should be able to skip it or opt out of it or something in some way. Personally, but yeah,
I think that depends on the severity of what we're talking about. right? So like some people could think it's unethical to punch a woman, but if it's like to push the story forward in the game, I mean,
You gotta knock her out. I'm just kidding.
it's just
She was drowning my babies. What else was I supposed to do?
yeah, I think that's obviously on the ethical, like should I or should I not, but I don't think you should be like, I don't want to see this, so I'm just gonna skip it. So I don't know. That's you know it, but again, that's kind of the whole point. This is kind of an edgy episode.
A little bit.
I love it.
But I mean, it has to do with it's like social. What was the other? It's like social behavior or social issues. That was the other. You know.
Right. And just to preface, we're not violent people. We don't support hitting anybody. You know, like we don't.
That's not true.
Oh. Okay, never
It
mind.
depends on the situation.
Some people need to get hit.
That's true.
Yeah, they do.
I will say, when I was a kid, I needed spankings. I did.
What the?
I was a shithead, dude. I deserved it. I know I deserved it. But that's a different topic.
Yeah. Next episode, we're gonna go over parental standards.
Specifically, Brett.
Yes.
Yeah. This is no
I think
longer a
it turned out-
podcast. This is a therapy session.
Listen, I think it turned out pretty good.
That'll be the live one. We'll wear turtlenecks in the
Yeah,
live one.
I'll pull.
With
You
our
know, we
legs
got some,
crossed.
get some couches.
Yeah,
Did you
I'll
ever
be the
think
one
of
laying
yours?
down.
Your thing, Tyler?
Mine?
Yeah.
Mine was the like gaming ethics as far as games themselves, and like the game and the gamers mix. So basically, like we were talking about in a previous, maybe an episode or two ago, about the whole Grand Theft Auto situation, where they took items out of the game and then put them back in the game, but you had to pay for them. So stuff like
that's right.
that.
You were talking
That's-
about.
yeah.
That's right. Your thing was company ethics.
So
That's right. That's right. That's right. It's like
and-
Black Ops 3 and putting guns strictly behind loot boxes.
Yeah, stuff like I genuinely do not have I don't have a problem with a loot box when it's cosmetics. I don't spend $1,000 and get different knives and gun skins and stuff like that. Who cares? It's your money. It's not like it. Yeah, raise your hand. Exactly. More than 1,000 probably, but when you're like locking like a gun that is
Content,
now
right,
the best new gun in the game, and you have to spend $25 to get that, or any money at all.
But you
Then
could
it's
only have to spend $2. There's a chance.
Or yeah, 200 to 500. What will it be?
See, and that's like I have this discussion so much about the Counter-Strike skin system. Or like so I get so aggravated with this. Genuinely.
Let's get it going.
So like
Yeah, let's go.
it doesn't make sense to me to like Counter-Strike loot boxes. It's actual gambling. There's no guaranteed anything behind them. I've personally opened 200 cases and not gotten anything worth more than like $16, right? And what's even more frustrating about that is, one, the rarity doesn't matter. There's blue rarity skins that are worth hundreds, okay?
That's how it is. Has it always been like that, or is that how it is
Yes, that's how it's always been like that. There's pink rarity skins that are worth $3, right? The issue behind the Counter-Strike skin system is it's community driven. So this is how I view it. The people are determining the prices of these things. For instance, I actually talked to Brad about this earlier today. There's an all red M4, like a suppressed M4. It's called the Hot Rod. That gun skin last year was like $50. Right now it's over 1,000. And one, I know that's because of the CS2 release. I'm not an idiot. Like I get they're updating the graphics and everything behind that, but it's like it feels extra scummy to me because Valve knows that their skin prices are going to increase. It's also extra scummy to me that instead of putting restrictions in place for the market, for the community market where I can like buy skins and stuff like that, instead of putting restrictions in place there, for instance, the highest that you could list an item for in the past was $400. You could not go higher than $400. Right now, I don't know if there's a cap. I've seen stuff listed for $2,000 now. But if stuff gets sold on there, Valve gets a cut of it. So it's like it just
That's interesting.
It feels weird. And with the crates. Right now, it seems like the stream meta is to just buy a shitload of cases and to open them. You have I guess a couple big streamers are like Ninja, Tim the Tatman, Cloaksy, Dr. Disrespect. All of them are just buying a shitload of cases and opening them. There's pictures on Twitter of like Ninja on their private jet to Nadeshot's wedding
Saw that. Yeah.
opening up
Yeah.
cases.
Yeah, he was actually at Nadeshot's wedding opening a case.
Yeah,
on the
like
Steam
and
Deck.
it's just like stuff like that, right? Like basically, long story short, like my thing behind that is it doesn't matter how many cases you open. He could open 3,000 of them. There's not a guaranteed chance that he gets anything out of those.
Yeah, did you see Dr. Disrespect? His first case that he opened was like a $15,000 knife.
No, it wasn't his first case. It was
I
like
thought it
his
was his first knife.
600th case. It was his first knife he ever got.
That's what it was.
Like, so he opened like a shitload, and then he finally got something. But he had already put, I did the math before, it was like $3,000 into it before he made money on it. But and it was such a rare knife that he got. Like, that's not, it wasn't, he could have got a fucking, a bayonet, what is it, the safari mesh shit that looks like someone just dropped it in spray paint.
Or a gut knife. I think a gut knife is the cheapest knife in the game.
But he got a bayonet Doppler that was full blue, which is called a Sapphire, and it's worth like $15,000 right now. But again,
Yeah,
he had to put $3,000 into it to get that.
Yeah, I think the scummy thing is, so the streamers are saying like don't
I just spilled
gamble.
my drink. Don't worry about it.
Why is it something always happens on your end? Like a fly, now there's a drink.
spiders, drinks.
Oh, it wasn't a fly, it was a spider. That's right.
Content. That's my
Well,
excuse.
there you go. It's in your blood. No, what I was gonna say was, I feel like, so the big streamers say don't gamble, kids, after they spend however much, but then Dr. Disrespect opens however many cases he opens, and then he gets a $15,000 knife. And if you subtract $3,000 or $6,000 from the amount that he spent to get that knife, he's getting profit. And that's what people see. They're like, oh my God, he basically just got $9,000 by opening cases. I just need to do the same thing.
They
but
know
it's
what
not-
they're doing, man.
What's funny to me is that someone won't spend the money to buy a case, but then they'll donate to a streamer for them to use that money to buy a case on stream.
Well, some people
Yeah,
don't like to gamble, but they like to watch people gamble.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're
It's-
still you're kind of gambling your money away.
I hate gambling.
Yeah.
But
I
I'll
also-
watch you spend money all day.
Yeah, I'll watch it. If I'm
That's like your bachelor party. We went to the casino, right? I put
fucking
$10.
Nobody did anything.
I put $10 in that slot machine, made 100, and fucking
no.
I was like, I'm out.
No one spent any money. I was like, what the fuck, guys?
We're
I
here
don't
to
know,
lose
even a
money.
gambler.
I spent money in that buffet though.
I don't know. I guess with Counter-Strike, like something like that, I guess because I don't play Counter-Strike, but something like that still doesn't bother me because it doesn't affect the actual game that you are
See,
playing.
you say
does
that,
not.
but there's a stigma in the game where it's like you pull out your knife and it's a default knife, and then you're just getting fucking roasted for having a default knife.
But that
And
also doesn't make you that doesn't make you worse in the game. Like,
Yeah, I
that-
mean,
like,
true.
You can never open up a case in your life and you're just as good as the person that spent $20,000, and you have the same gun, same knife, same everything
True.
besides the skin.
It's just the like the only way that you can back that up is if you're playing well.
That's true.
And if you're bad, just don't play.
That's
Like
true.
me.
You can do that.
Guess what? I don't play Counter-Strike. I don't need to worry about spending thousands of dollars on cases. I'm happy over here.
Well, here's the thing, though, Tyler.
That's the thing, is that they don't fucking play Counter-Strike either.
skins equals.
They're just
skins
opening
equals
cases.
wins, though. Skins equals wins. That
That's
is
true.
the philosophy. It's just how it is.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. It's something I first heard on League of Legends. That is true. Do you have a
I
better
saw.
skin?
Speaking of
Yeah,
that,
but there were some League of Legends skins that were fucking pay to win, dog. Don't even.
League of Legends was the top-rated toxic community in all of gaming.
Oh yeah.
And I've never played it.
That checks
Vane,
out.
can you
Mazel-
confirm that?
Mazel tov.
I can't confirm nothing. As a player of it for years, I would say that tracks.
Although I will say that is a little bit hard to believe because Overwatch and Siege exist.
Well,
Overwatch
so
was
I think
number
it.
2.
I think it also depends on, like, if we're talking player base, like Siege has way less, right? And
Does
it's
it?
also the people, like the people that are ingrained in that that culture as well. Like, do you think toxic ass people are reporting other toxic ass people?
Now they're queuing up.
That's what I'm saying.
They're
They're
queuing
like,
up
damn, that
together."
guy's funny.
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm involving voice chat. Because I would hear,
Which is funny because League doesn't even have voice chat.
actually League does have voice chat. Well, sort of.
It has party chat. You can
It
talk
has
to your
party chat.
teammates. Yeah.
Yeah, it has
As in
party
like
chat.
your queue mate, but you can't. I don't think it has team chat.
Yeah, which is kind of useless since Discord exists. But
I
you know.
also I want to bring up another topic with that because I think me and Daniel, we have talked about this in the past and we somewhat disagree on this. So I want to
Oh.
kind of hear what your take is, Brett.
Okay.
And it is games not launching ready. Like they are
So
released,
those are called
and they are
live.
not-
Those are live service games, is what they're classified as.
not even just
Mm.
like would you
Oh,
call
do you
any
mean like?
game
Do you
that-
mean like, or it, like launches like bugged and like terrible? Oh,
Yes.
okay. I thought you meant like games releasing that didn't have content ready for them, like New World.
No, so I mean like for example, like you buy Cyberpunk whenever it released or Jedi Survivor and the glitches are so bad that you're running 5 frame rate and you can't even progress in the game because there's a bug blocking you from completing a quest.
Yep.
Yeah. So okay. Wait. So what's the question?
Like, do you think that game should wait until the game is actually completed and playable, that where you can play it from start to finish and have 0 issues, or do you think it should just release?
So I feel like if you were to ask somebody younger, they would say that it's fine. But we all grew up with the same games, you know, N64, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox. I guess not Xbox 360, Xbox. We get live updates now, but we grew up in a time where games were full released. Like how they were, that's just how you're gonna play them. If there's something
Yeah.
wrong with it, then that's just that sucks. Like there's no patch notes, there's no waiting for games to be fixed. Like what you got is what you got. And I think game companies put a lot more time and a lot more care into those games. So I think that it's better to wait, but that's because I'm biased with how I grew up.
I think that's a big part of it for me as well. You know, just and like you said, there's a lot that goes into games nowadays. So I understand why there are bugs and glitches because worlds and stuff like that now, when the technical side and the graphical side are pushed to the limits that we probably never thought would be possible at this time. But to me, it's like I was like you said, I was so used to getting a game that was done 10 years, 15 years ago. The game was completed. There was no issue with it.
Yep.
Now you're saying I'm going to spend my money on this game that I can't even finish because it's so bad.
Yeah, especially whenever game prices are raising to $70.
Yeah, $70, and that's like for me.
That's
who
70
plays-
USD, by the way. So if you're in
Yeah.
like Canada, I think that's like $85 for you.
Yeah, And I mean, especially now with, I mean, this year has been a crazy game for video games as far as the amount that have released this year. It's like every month there's 5 or 6 really good games that are releasing. So it's like the time frame of playing a game is not that long. So it's like, okay, right now we have, let's just say Final Fantasy 16, and then in 2 months Starfield is coming out. So I'm going to buy this game to kind of be in that gap, and I bought it and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I gave you my money, and I understand that games have live updates and stuff like that, but by the time it gets fixed, like for me at least, I'm already on to the next game. Like,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think maybe that's has something to do with why I don't play single player games and why I'm wanting to wait a month before I actually touch the game or whatever. Because people pre-order, and that's fine. You know, people pre-order because they're excited. They want to play the game. They want the benefits that you get for pre-ordering. They want to be the very first ones to play it. I totally understand that. Me, I don't care about that stuff. I want to make sure that the game works, is functioning, and is popular. And it's going and is if it's popular, it means it's good. I don't want to buy a game just because it's coming out.
Debatable.
I buy a game just because. So many times.
Well, I also popular means it's good. Is debatable.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
So when a game is popular, you don't think that it's good?
I think that there
Or
are.
is that just
I think
is
that
that
there are
personal
bad
preference?
games that are popular.
Is it bad because you don't like it or because
No, I'm talking
like
about
what do you mean
like
bad?
I'm talking like
Like Overwatch 2?
no. I
You
was
think
actually more thinking about PUBG. Because
Yeah,
like
I can see that.
PUBG, like give X Studio the same like the rights to PUBG, and I feel like they update it more with like better netcode, better movement, like all that shit's it's just a very clunky, like it feels the same that it did 3 years ago in terms of combat and everything else. Like nothing really feels different about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say like to me that may I don't know if that like I'm thinking that they are thinking we don't need to innovate on movement, we don't need to innovate on netcode because we think that it's good where it's at, which it is not.
Hmm. Yeah.
I've
So
never
I have-
played it,
I
no
have-
idea.
I have
Maybe
one
you're
last
right.
question before we get out
Oh yeah,
of here.
how long have we been going?
Well, there was a good like 10-minute break at the beginning, while we were waiting on all the technical stuff. But it's been
So-
it's been an hour and 14 minutes so far.
Oh, okay.
My last question
I'm ready.
is: did you see the stuff that was released today? That being Saturday,
What's that?
July 23rd. About Ubisoft deleting your account if you're inactive.
I did see that. And
I
I
did
looked
not.
into it.
So apparently, Ubisoft is deactivating your account. If you're inactive, I don't know what the time frame is. If you don't log into your Ubisoft account for a certain amount of time, they will deactivate it for 30 days. And if you do not log into it within that 30 days, your account is terminated. And that includes the games that you purchased. You cannot get them back.
I don't
Yeah.
even know why that would be a thing.
The only thing I can think of is
I
like
don't know.
server space.
Yeah, server space, server cost. I
Like,
mean,
I mean, I don't know how their stuff is structured, but I assume all the accounts are stored in like a database, and maybe they don't have the capacity for it. But then again, a lot of stuff, I don't know if they run their stuff on the cloud or like, I mean,
Hmm.
granted, the cloud is just someone else's computer somewhere else, but I mean, there's
Yeah.
a crazy amount of.
I wonder what the timing is, because that has to be a long time, right? Like like a year.
I mean,
maybe
even
2
then, I don't
years.
think any amount of time is just
Oh,
justifiable.
yeah, I agree. I agree with that completely. Like, I think it's really messed up for them to just delete an account that has, I don't know, like let's say like 24 games, and you just
It could
couldn't
have
even
it could
log
have
on.
one game on there. That shit don't matter.
Yeah.
I bought
well,
that
either
game.
way,
That's
yeah, either way, if you bought them years ago and you haven't been able to log on, maybe your computer broke, maybe you're not in an area where you have internet, maybe you just can't afford to play games right now. That's pretty messed
Well,
up.
like
for
that's
them to delete.
that's a different case. Even if I didn't want to play the game that I bought, I don't have the right. Like you don't have the right to take that away from me. I spent my money on it.
Yeah,
that's
that's pretty messed up. Regardless of the timing, I don't
Go
know.
ahead, Tyler.
no. I don't even understand the separate platforms for downloading and buying games at this point. You know, like,
Dude,
what the
no
fuck
kidding.
is the point of it? Like, why would I
Well,
go
the
to
point of
Ubisoft
it is money.
for them? But it's like, are they that naive to think people are going to go to their platform whenever the game is $60 and then Steam is having this sale where you can buy it for 15? Why the
Yeah, that's the play that Epic is having on everything, right? Like Epic is there's a shitload of games that release like 6 months early on Epic. Borderlands 3 is the one that comes to like one of the more recent games. Legitimately, it was on Epic for 6 months or 3 months before you could buy it on
Jesus.
Steam.
That's crazy. I
Wow.
didn't know that.
Yeah. So like
that's
I
wild.
bought it on Epic because I was like, I'm not trying to wait 3 to 6 months before I can play this on the platform that I like. There are launchers out there that combine all the different launchers.
Yeah.
Like GOG is one of them, but you have to have all of the launchers open on your computer at one time, which is, I mean, you're talking like you have Rockstar, Epic, Origin,
Ubisoft.
Steam,
The EA
Ubisoft, or
EA.
Uplay or whatever it is, and like there's just so many.
Yeah.
The like Riot Games launcher, there's another client I was thinking of that actually recently downloaded to play one game, and I think I downloaded it and didn't even play it. I can't remember what
I think
what it is.
even Minecraft has one called Curse
Yeah,
Forge.
It's got its own. Well, Curse Forge is that's a third party mod thing. Like that's like they're primarily mods.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
you can get like add-ons for World of Warcraft and all that stuff through
Oh, I didn't-
through Curse
pretty cool.
Forge. Yeah.
I use that primarily for Minecraft. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
it
know you can do
originally was for
all.
like WoW add-ons.
That is pretty effing cool. But yeah, there are so many
Well, I
different
mean,
clients.
like then you got Overwatch coming to Steam now, which
Yeah, I think that's great. That's great for the game. Great for the player base.
I mean, I agree. I just
It's a little late, but
Overwatch 2 or
BattleNet's
1?
BattleNet's the
Both?
other one since I mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
there's
BattleNet.
another launcher.
we should just have an episode where we just talk about how highly he thinks of games, of Dan thinks of games. Because the look on his face sometimes when we bring up certain games, he just like, I just.
I mean, hey, let's do it.
Overwatch is a baby game.
It's a baby game.
Yeah,
Jeez. Shout out to Fortnite.
dude, Fortnite's
The
harder
original.
than Overwatch.
Yeah, well, Fortnite was the original baby game. Well, I guess Minecraft technically the original baby game.
Minecraft's harder than Overwatch.
What about Viva Pinata?
Viva
About
Pinata.
Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig.
That's a show,
Peppa
dog.
It's a game too.
Is
It's
it
an
really?
Xbox exclusive game. Yeah.
it
Why do you
is.
know that?
I saw it on a meme.
No, I saw it because it was on PlayStation. What do you have? We have Last of Us, Uncharted, Spider-Man. What do you have? We have Peppa Pig.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like one of the only Xbox exclusive games now, as opposed
Nah,
because everything's
well-
moved to PC.
Yep.
Yep.
That's funny.
All
So
hail
good.
Peppa Pig.
I mean that Ubisoft thing really does not make it, especially because they launch an Assassin's Creed game every year. Like, what happens if someone's like, I like this year's, but I don't like next year's? Oh, I saw you didn't download or get in this account. deactivated.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know
like
the
a-
time frame on it. We'll have to do more research on that. But
Yeah, it's messed up.
It's like you mark a monthly calendar just to log in and then log out.
Yeah, timer on your phone. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, that's wild. I can't believe Ubisoft is doing that.
unethical.
Rockstar tried that and their whole database or their platform got shut down or something like that. They don't even have one anymore, I don't think.
That's crazy.
Oh, they don't have a launcher anymore.
So like Red Dead Redemption 2 and all that you could only buy on the Rockstar one.
Oh, I do remember that.
and then
yeah,
I try to log in
yeah.
and it was like your games have now been moved to Steam or something like that. It's
Yeah,
like,
well, Origin's doing the same thing. Apex and Battlefield and all that stuff's on Steam now.
Yeah,
I wonder how
I
much
think-
money Valve's making off this shit.
oh my
Off
god. That's
of-
why they don't have to make games anymore.
Dude, they haven't made a fucking game in forever. They've been coasting on the success of Counter-Strike and Dota 2 for fucking years.
It's Steam.
Yeah, I mean, they get a portion of Steam sales and stuff like
I can't
that.
even
like-
imagine how much they make on Steam.
it's probably
billions.
stupid. It's probably stupid amount.
Hundreds of millions, if not billions.
Oh, it's definitely billions.
Oh,
But yeah, so that pretty
Okay.
much concludes this
Yeah.
episode of nonsensical randomness.
What do you mean? We had a topic. What are you talking about?
We did.
It was very edgy, though. I will say. So sorry if we offend some people.
Yeah, we a
How
little
come
bit.
we-
We touched on a little bit of. We touched on some politics. Touched on some fucking.
woke.
Yeah, some like pop culture stuff. We mentioned
How-
Twitter.
Here's the real question: how do we step it up on the next one?
How do we step it up?
We got to talk political issues.
Yeah.
That's how we step it up. That's we reach out to a different audience.
Next election. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think we would probably all agree with a good majority of it, but that's not something I want to talk about and have, not looking to put out fires.
I'm looking to
I mean,
start.
I'm an
Let's
open
go.
book. You can ask me all you want.
Here's my
Uh,
book. It's open. Hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
so if you have questions, concerns, insults, whatever else,
And
Throw 'em-
so
Yeah,
throw 'em
feel
in the
free
comments.
to shoot them straight at Dan.
I'll take
I'll
it.
take it.
use
You can take 'em.
our comment section like a League of Legends match.
That
Don't do that.
It
Don't
is
do,
questionable.
don't do that. I would rather you just leave 1 star.
Yeah.
There we go.
But leave
But yeah,
5
so make
stars.
sure if you do the stuff, do the
Yeah, do the positive thing. You should rate us 5 stars. That's
if
what
you,
you should
if
do.
you think we're 5 stars worthy.
Oh, we're
That's all that
5-star
we're
worthy.
That's bias.
That's-
If you think we're 1 star, give it to us.
and then tell us what we did wrong.
If it's me being here, I'll take it.
He won't change it, but he'll take it.
Yeah, tough it up. But yeah, all right.
That goes with everything else too.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Peace out.
Bye.
Have a good one.